Hi, this is Jim Goodman, and I want to welcome you to 10 Wheel Adventures. Now this week, Belinda and I traveled from Bear Lake State Park in northeastern Utah through southwestern Wyoming and then back into Utah to the Flaming Gorge Recreation Area. Now they've dammed the Green River to create this huge reservoir, and you can see it off in the distance here on the right. It's so beautiful. And our campground was on the top of one of these mountains overlooking this reservoir.
Well, good morning. Welcome to Canyon Rim Campground. Well, for now, we're out just taking Sash for a walk and going to look over the Canyon Rim.
This overlook became our favorite spot. It was just breathtaking, and at different times of day it would actually change and look quite different. Always beautiful, but the reds would come out more in the afternoons and evenings, so we visited quite a lot. We were always out hiking around the area. There's some great trails. The Canyon Rim trails, 3-4 miles long, so we hiked out on that. And while hiking around that trail, we were running into all kinds of wildlife. Probably the most memorable was when we ran into this herd of bighorn sheep. Now these are the ewes. We did actually run into the rams, and there's 3 rams that kind of travel together separate from the ewes, and we ran into them a couple times as well, but never with the camera in hand. They had much bigger horns, obviously. A little bit more shy than these ewes. Right outside of our RV, we saw this small group of mule deer. You can tell by the large ears, and they just were grazing around our RV and our campsite. We also saw marmots. They're very entertaining, about the size of a house cat, and they're elusive. They're really hard to see, but you can kind of see them playing off in the distance, and they'd get to scampering and running around. I took a few photos with the zoom lens, a little easier to get a look at them. And of course, everywhere you go, you see the little chipmunks. This was again looking out the window of our RV. He's out there just nibbling on a piece of grass. Now this was a bit of a shocker. I walked up to the truck one day and I saw something dangling down from the front. And sure enough, this is what it was. And he was there actually a couple of days, only once up in the truck. Now this little group of caterpillars we found quite interesting. They had come out of their nest and they're all just got a little rhythm going on. We found them quite entertaining. And of course the most dangerous beast of all is the tree lurker. And we only saw this once. I got my mountain bike out several times. This is part of an 8-mile trek. Took me a couple hours. Wasn't in any hurry. And a lot of the trail is fairly smooth with some pine cones here and there. But then there's a whole bunch of stream crossings and some really rough areas where the rocks are out there. Probably that's more of it has the rocks than not. The little bridges are in good shape in most places, but not always. This was a tough area here going up this hill. It just throwing me right to left. But thank God for the pedal assist on this electric bike. It just made all the difference in the world. It's still pretty taxing and challenging, but definitely doable with this bike. Well, I don't think it would have been otherwise. The view here was just outstanding, as usual. Well worth the ride. Of course, this was the perfect place for me to get the drone out and fly it around. It was beautiful. And that extra 400 feet in elevation really enhanced the overlook. All in all, we'd have to rate this as our favorite campground. It was a little tight getting into our slot. Some of the roads are fairly narrow for a rig as big as ours, but we got in, maybe a few scratches on the side. But I think it's well worth it. We're sure glad you're traveling along with us on our journey via these videos. And until we meet you again, safe travels.